Hi, this is Eva Cartman, and you are listening to the Dream Big Podcast Show, the place to go to learn, laugh, and grow. Today we welcome neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett to learn how emotions are made. This is episode 64, Big Dreamers. You ready? It's time to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big Podcast Show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Welcome to the Dream Big Podcast Show. I am your host, Eva Cartman. And today, I'd like to start with a quick shout out to the review of the week. This is from Mary and reads in part, Eva and Olga, I am so happy to have discovered your podcast. I listen on the way to and from school with our 7-year-old son, Xander, and 4-year-old daughter, Zoe. They especially love when you sing after the intro song. The topics and guests you've had on the show have been so great. We always finish the show feeling inspired and full of ideas to dream big. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Mary, for the kind words, and thank you, Xander and Zoe, for listening to the podcast and dreaming big. Your message inspires my mom and I to continue doing this podcast, and we are excited to bring you more great interviews as well as solo episodes next year. Big Dreamers, please continue to leave us your honest reviews. We've been high on the charts this year in iTunes, and it is all thanks to your wonderful reviews. For a limited time, we are actually sending out free personalized stickers to Big Dreamers who take the time to leave a review. Parents, you can go to dreambigpodcast.com/bonus with your kids for the details on how to claim the free stickers. They are customized with your child's face and really awesome. And I'm going to turn it over to my mom for a quick word from the sponsor of this episode.
I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our friends who recently helped spread the love about the Dream Big podcast. First up is Marcy in Mommyland, the place where Marcy shares tips and tricks that her family learned on their travel adventures so you can set yourself up for success. We all know how stressful it can be to travel with kids, right? Especially young ones. And Marcy's blog is a fantastic place to get advice on how to ensure your next vacation will be a success. We were thrilled she included us in a post entitled How I, Mostly, Survive Family Travel with Little Kids. And thank you so much, Lindsay from Mama Lou's Den. Her blog has gained a lot of followers for its practical advice on cloth diapering, but also has wonderfully helpful posts on attachment parenting, breastfeeding, co-sleeping, and baby wearing. We love that Lindsay included the Dream Big podcast in a hilarious article entitled 23 Weeks Pregnant and I Have to Pee. Check out the article to see why we were included. You'll find the links in our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/64. The sponsor of today's episode is datevitation.com, where you can create custom love coupon book full of fun activities to do with the ones you love. You probably made these love coupons before by hand for your spouse or mom or kids, but now Datevitation makes it super easy. You can make a book right now online and it will be shipped to you shortly. And the illustrations are adorable. We love the selection of over 500 plus activity ideas. And Datevitation has great options for books for kids to give to their parents, for parents to their kids, and of course, those romantic ones for grown-ups to each other. They even have an option to upload your photos and you can add your face to their fun stick figure characters. It's so much fun. Eva and I love Datevitation, and she even made me a Datevitation book for my birthday last year, and was my favorite gift by far. We had such a blast doing the activities in the book together and creating lifelong memories. She's so funny. She actually said, "Mom, now we have these dates. Let's put them on the calendar and let's do them." She's a doer, as you know, right? So for our Dream Big community, Datevitation is offering custom Datevitation books starting at just $15, including free shipping. Yep, free shipping, guys. That's $15 for completely custom gift, including shipping. You get to pick the cover of your choice, 5 date activities, and you can even add your photos to the illustrations. If you would like to add more than 5 pages, you can do that for just $1 each. Just use the code DREAMBIG at checkout to take advantage of this amazing deal for limited time only. And if you forget any of this, just go to dreambigpodcast.com/64 and we'll have links to the Datevitation site and the promo code. Thank you, Datevitation, for supporting the Dream Big podcast and providing so much value to our community.
Thanks, Mom. It's time for you all to enjoy our interview with Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett. Dr. Barrett is a neuroscientist, psychologist, and the author of How Emotions Are Made: The Secret Life of the Brain. She is also a university distinguished professor of psychology at Northeastern University with appointments at Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital. I'm excited for you to listen to this episode because Dr. Barrett shares how we can become self-aware of our emotions. If you are going to dream big, you're going to face obstacles, and being self-aware about your emotions is so important to make sure you continue to chase your big dreams even when things don't go according to plan. As always, we have show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/64, where we will include links to Dr. Barrett's website and everything we discussed in the interview. Without further ado, here's our interview with Dr. Barrett. Let's roll the tape. Hi, Lisa.
Hey there.
Hello.
Let's start with basic questions. And we know that you have spent your career studying the brain and our emotions. What are emotions, and how do you define that word?
Well, scientists disagree about how emotions, what emotions are and how they work. But our research and the research of many other scientists suggests that emotions are not your reactions to things that happen in the world. Instead, emotions are the way that your brain makes sense of what's happening in your body in relation to what's happening around the world, what's happening in your world right now. So basically, your brain has to make sense of the feelings that you have in your body, the feelings of your heart pounding, the feelings of your stomach gurgling, the feelings of taking deep breaths. And when you have, let's say, an ache in your tummy, it could be feeling anxious about something. It could be feeling excited about something. It could just be feeling hungry. And so your brain has to make sense of what your body sensations mean, what the feelings in your body mean, and that's what an emotion is.
And Lisa, how can we help our kids to recognize those emotions and deal with them?
Well, here's the thing. You don't recognize emotions. Your brain makes them. Emotions are not built in to your brain or your body for you to recognize. They're just built by your brain as you need them. So the more emotion words that kids learn, the bigger their vocabulary for different emotions, the more emotions their brains can make. And that's a really good thing because you want your brain to have lots of choices about which emotions to make. So, for example, when you're really afraid of something, sometimes you feel like you want to run away. Sometimes you feel like you want to approach the thing that you're afraid of and deal with it. Sometimes you'll laugh in the face of fear. Sometimes you'll stay very still and try to learn more information about what's going on. All of those are instances of fear. They just feel different and your body's doing something different. And so you want to make sure that your brain is equipped, like has enough tools to make all those different varieties of emotion. And one important way is to learn a lot of words for emotion.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and at what age do you think kids start recognizing emotions?
Well, as I said, I don't think kids recognize emotions. I think that kids' brains work, they learn, their brains are, a little kid's brain, it doesn't look like a miniature grown-up brain. It's actually a brain that's wiring itself to its surroundings. So kids are learning how to make the emotions of the people that are around them. So there are differences, for example, in different cultures, the emotions that people can make and that they can feel and that they can see in other people. So kids don't recognize emotions. Their brains learn to make emotions.
Right. It's like our 2-year-old.
Yeah, she was playing a game the other day, and she was doing a happy face, then an angry face, and then an excited face, and it was just really funny. When did you start being interested in emotions, and why?
Well, when I was studying for my PhD, I had some experiments that I was trying to run, and they weren't running very well. And the reason why is because I needed to measure people's emotions, and the way that I was doing it, which is the way everybody was doing it at the time, wasn't really working. And so I just got curious to understand why the measures weren't working. And like you, I thought, well, maybe people don't recognize the emotions they're having, and that's why I'm having a hard time measuring them. But it turned out that people don't recognize emotion; they make it. And so, for example, you were just talking about your sister making an angry face, but she was probably scowling. And it turns out people don't scowl all the time in anger. Sometimes they smile in anger. Sometimes they frown in anger. Sometimes they sit quietly and, brood in anger. So your face doesn't do one thing in anger. And in fact, people also scowl when they are concentrating or just thinking really hard. And so this was something that I found really fascinating. How is it that we learn to do all these different things in anger? We learn to see anger in other people, regardless of whether the person is scowling or pouting or crying or frowning or smiling. How does a person learn to do all that? That seems pretty remarkable to me. And so I just got really captivated by that question.
So Lisa, do you have any strategy of how do we stay most of the time positive or happy? Because a lot, as you said, people are making emotions. So it means that we do have a choice which emotions to feel and when. Is that correct?
Well, we have more control than we think, but we don't. It's not like you can snap your fingers and change your emotions as easily as, changing your clothes, right? It's actually really kind of hard to have control of your emotions, but we do have much more control than we think that we do. There are 3 kinds of ingredients to making emotions. One of them has to do with the sensations that come, the feelings that come from your body. So if you treat your body well, you get enough sleep, you eat well, so that means not too much candy, you exercise enough, then it makes it easier for your brain to make positive feelings and less likely to make unpleasant or negative feelings. Another thing that you can do is you can pay attention to different things in the world. So sometimes we get so caught up with the things that we're doing every day and all of our worries about doing well in school or pleasing our parents or doing our chores that we forget to pay attention to the things that are really positive in our life. So feeling gratitude or feeling passion or feeling wonder at something, it's important to try to pay attention to little details in your life that can cue your brain to make a positive feeling instead of a negative one.
And if I understand you correctly, Lisa, if emotions are stored in our body, and if we exercise a lot, then it means that we can get rid of like suppressed maybe emotions.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, emotions are not stored in our bodies. So I think the way to think about it is that, here's the way I think about it. Your brain is kind of works like the financial part of a company. So you can think about the systems in your body as accounts. And so your brain tries to keep all of the systems in your body in balance, just in the same way that in a company there could be one office that tries to make sure that all the offices have enough money and aren't spending too much. So your brain is kind of running a budget for your body. And when your body's budget is balanced, then you feel good. When your body's budget is unbalanced, like maybe you've spent more resources, you spent more than you have, then your body's budget is running low and you'll feel unpleasant or bad. Those feelings of feeling good or bad are not emotions. They're just simple feelings that come from what is happening in your body. To make an emotion, your brain has to make sense of those. It has to say, well, I have this pleasant feeling because I'm talking to Eva right now and this is really fun. I have a pleasant feeling because I have a big test coming up. And that makes that tug in my stomach is actually anxiety. And actually one thing that we teach kids is to, instead of when they're feeling jittery and their tummy hurts before a big test, let's say, they are automatically taught by their parents to feel that as anxiety, but actually you could feel it as excitement or determination. And in fact, when my daughter was a little girl, her karate sensei used to say to the kids, get your butterflies flying in formation, right? Not like kill your butterflies, right? So you don't want to get rid of your butterflies. You want them flying in formation. Right before a big test, let's say, you don't want to get rid of that jittery feeling because it's actually kind of helpful. And you just have to learn to feel it as something positive instead of something negative. Like Eva, right before you interview someone, do you get butterflies in your tummy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've probably kind of learned that those butterflies are sort of helping you get ready.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But if you had learned that those butterflies, if your brain had learned to make a feeling of anxiousness, you would feel anxious with those butterflies, then that wouldn't be helpful at all.
Yeah.
Lisa, is this true? Or maybe it's not, but some of the experts, they say that our emotions come from memory as well. So, for example, if Eva had a big test at school and she had negative memory of that test and maybe like not passing, then she would have negative emotions attached to it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's exactly right. All of the feelings that you have right now, all the emotions, and even all of the thoughts, and even the things that you see around the world, even right now around the room, are memories that your brain is using to help you think and see and feel. So, for example, right now, it might feel to you like you're just listening to me speak and reacting to the things that I say, but your brain is using your memories to predict every word that comes out of my
Oh.
mouth.
Yeah, mouth.
Yeah. And imagine how surprised you would have been if I had said that words were coming out of my ear. That was pretty silly. But because your brain is using its brain is using memories from the past to create the feelings and thoughts and emotions and even the things that you see and hear and taste right now.
Yeah.
That's why I like the saying, change your thoughts, change your reality.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way that I would say it is, if you change your experiences right now, you are seeding your brain to make different experiences very automatically and effortlessly in the future. So, for example, if you put a little effort in right now to pay attention to things that will make you feel wonder about the world, then it will be really easy in the future for your brain to make those feelings to make them easily. So a little bit of effort now can really change your experiences later.
That's true.
Yeah, and you have a new book out that is called How Emotions Are Made. Why did you write the book, and what are some of the key takeaways from the book?
Well, some of the key takeaways we're talking about right now. But I decided to write the book because there are people in the world who are harmed by using the wrong, they have mistaken beliefs about emotion. They think emotions come pre-wired into our brains, that emotions are universal, that you can just look at someone's face and read how they feel the same way that you would read words on a page. And none of those things are true. And when people are making decisions in every walk of life, in the law, in healthcare, in education, when they use the wrong ideas about how emotions work, other people can get hurt. And I thought, well, it's time for people to know the real science.
Yeah, and we will definitely include the link to the book in the show notes, and the audience, especially parents listening, can check it out. And the reviews have been amazing of the book, and you have received great praise from other top psychologists and authors. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Yes, congratulations, Lisa. I think it's so important for us parents, as you can see clearly, right? I've been in this industry quite a while, but still I don't have full understanding of emotions and how it works. And the scientists come with a new resource. So, Lisa, I'm looking forward to read the book as well.
Me too.
And help Eva and our little Sophia to understand emotions, because I think it's so, so important just to understand everything that's behind it. And if we explain for our kids at a very early age how it's all made and how it's done, they make sense of it and they can clearly decide how they want to feel. And that's so important.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And what practical advice can you give to our younger audience about their emotions?
Well, I would say, basically, I would repeat some of the things that I said already. It's important it's surprising that getting enough sleep and getting exercise and eating healthfully is important, but it really is to managing your emotions. And I would say, make sure that you learn about emotions, pay attention, and learn as many words about emotion as you can. And I would also say, when you look at someone else and it seems to you as if they have an angry expression, or they sound angry in their voice, or maybe their body language seems angry, you need to remember that your brain is just guessing. You don't really know for sure how they feel, and you might be wrong. So oftentimes it's a good thing to ask rather than to assume.
Yeah.
Right?
Would you ask how are you feeling right now, or what are
Yeah.
you feeling? What's the question?
Yeah, I would say, how are you feeling right now? Or can I ask you, what are you thinking right now? And if it was someone I knew really well, I might say, gee, you look angry. Are you angry? And they might say, yes, I am. Or they might say, no, I'm not angry at all. Right? And
Yeah.
yeah, so a lot of times people just assume that they know how someone else is feeling, but a lot of the times they don't. And that's hard, especially when, let's say, two people come from a different culture, or two people don't know each other very well. You're guessing, and if you don't know someone very well, your likelihood of guessing wrong is a little bit higher.
Yeah. And I think it's important to be self-aware so that you know why you may be feeling a certain way. For example, sometimes kids get grumpy when they did not have a good dinner or they are tired.
Yeah.
If you are aware of this, then you can have a bite to eat or rest so that you can give your body the nutrients and rest it needs, right?
That's exactly right. So here's a funny thing. My daughter, whose name is also Sophia, when she was born, every day about 4:30, she'd get really cranky. And now she's in college, and she still, kind of gets cranky at 4:30 in the afternoon every day. And the thing is, it's completely physical, right? She's probably just needs a snack. And, but let's say she didn't know that. And let's say she was feeling cranky. And let's say her brain made a negative emotion out of that. Her brain could make anger. Her brain could make fear. Her brain could make guilt. Her brain could make shame. But really, the real cause of her, unpleasant feelings is just that she needs a bit of food. So sometimes your unpleasant feelings or your pleasant feelings come from something physical, not from something mental. That is, sometimes your brain should be making, physical feelings, not emotions. And being self-aware is a really important thing to do so that your brain doesn't misunderstand what your body sensations mean.
It is
Yeah.
so true. As a parent, I can totally relate because the first thing I ask, are you hungry? Did you sleep enough?
Yes.
Oh, no, you're going to bed at 8 o'clock tonight. I can
Exactly.
see. And then at the same time, for
Yeah.
us parents, I also recognize when I start being like agitated or something more,
Or
maybe
cranky,
yeah,
or
cranky. And
Yeah.
like she always wants to go to bed. It doesn't matter what time it is.
So
and then
here's
I tell to Eva, I'm sorry, I did not mean to say that. I'm just really, really tired. It's
but so maybe that's something kids should know too,
yeah.
that when their parents are, short tempered, when their parents are kind of crabby, usually kids think, oh, I've done something wrong.
Right.
But maybe kids should ask themselves a little bit, gee, I wonder if my mom or dad is cranky because something happened at work, or maybe they're cranky because they're tired, and maybe it doesn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, and we have some middle rapid fire questions, and that's where we ask you a question and you answer quickly. Okay, so what are your hobbies?
I cook, I read, and I read. And I garden.
I love to read.
Yeah.
What accomplishment are you most proud of?
My daughter.
What is next for you?
Another book.
Do you have an idea about
The title, the name?
It's going to be about emotions?
No, it'll probably be a book about how the brain works. And I'm thinking about writing a book for kids.
Great.
And do you have any daily routines?
I work out every morning. I go for a run or I lift weights. I cook dinner with my family every night. I try to get enough sleep, which is a little bit tricky because I have a lot of work to do.
How many hours, Lisa, do you
That
get?
sounds like my mom.
I get about 7 hours, I would say. I sometimes I can get 8, and sometimes I have a bad day and I get 6, but mostly I try to get 7 hours.
If you go back in time and talk to your 10-year-old self, what would be the best advice?
Be patient. Everything will be okay. Think big.
Yeah, and also dream big.
And
Mm-hmm.
big actions, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What trait do you have that has enabled you to take your big dreams and make them reality?
I'm tenacious, and I don't let anybody tell me. When somebody tells me something can't be done, I don't believe them. I just do it anyway.
When you have doubted yourself in the past, what made you overcome those fears and continue to persevere your dream?
That's a great question. You know what? I don't know. I think even when I'm anxious and I'm not sure that I can do something, I still try anyway, because I'd rather try and fail than not try.
Yeah.
That's a great advice.
And you have already made many of your dreams a reality, but if you look at yourself today, what is your big dream for the future besides your next book?
My big dream for the future would be, well, in my work, my big dream is that I will have an influence on the way that people think about what emotions are and how they work. My work will influence how people think about how the brain works, and some of that influence will be through my students who I train and who go off and become scientists on their own. So for my work, I would say that's my big dream. But for my family, I think my dream is that we just all stay really healthy and happy together, and that lasts a really, really long time.
Yeah. And where can our audience find out more about you?
I have a website. It's called lisafeldmanbarrett.com, all one word. And on that website, people can find information about my book, How Emotions Are Made, The Secret Life of the Brain. And they can find all of the little articles that I've written for the New York Times and other magazines and newspapers. And they can find blog posts and videos that explain some of the ideas that we've talked about today.
Thank you, Lisa, so much.
Thank you.
And for our audience out there, remember that Lisa has a book, How Emotions Are Made, and we will include links in our show notes. And they can find it on Amazon, right, Lisa?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, definitely.
I'll definitely be getting that book.
Yes, we will be reading it, and I would like to know deeper how can I help my children and myself as well, based on Lisa's advice and what scientists are showing, because it's really cool to understand how everything is made, and especially when our children will understand that, it hopefully will prevent a lot of stress in their life. It will prevent a lot of problems, health problems as well. And if we learn how emotions are made, everything will be easier.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa, so much.
Thank you.
We had a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Barrett, for joining us and helping our big dreamers understand why they feel the way they feel sometimes. I'm sure it will help all of us go after and turn our big dreams into reality. Be sure to check out our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/64 for links to Dr. Barrett's website and everything else we discussed in the episode. When you go to the show notes, you'll see a place to sign up for our insider newsletter where we send exclusive content, including a free audio that I made on my top 10 tips for making and keeping great friends. This audio is only available for those who subscribe, and I know this will really help you, so please be sure to have your parents join the newsletter to get it. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional. You need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion, the way life is meant to be. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!